Hey guys, it's Ma5ter here, and I'm with Master Gamer1,
Hello.
and we are doing Watch Dogs gameplay. We are doing 2 missions, and let's just get straight into this.
Now, Siphon, what mission so far in the Watch Dogs, the first Watch Dogs, do you think is your favorite?
We break into the prison, and you have to find the guy that was a witness to the stadium blackout.
My favorite is probably perhaps visiting Aiden's niece's grave. It gives a lot of detail into Aiden's past. Makes you be able to really connect to the character.
Yeah. Honestly, for me, Aiden's voice kind of just annoyed me every now and then.
I could see that.
Because it's kind of like soft, and it gets very annoying.
So what do you look forward to in Watch Dogs 2?
Improved story. I mean, I like the story in this one. I just thought it was kind of iffy, but also I saw something where they're going to make it look more alive. Like fights are going to start breaking out in the streets between 2 people. I'm really excited for that. Improved hacking or whatever, and maybe a better character than Aiden, and improved graphics. That's what I'm. What about you?
I'm really looking forward to the online co-op. I believe that Ubisoft heard our complaints with Watch Dogs 1 and hopes to reconcile for it in Watch Dogs 2. Hopefully they learn from their past mistakes and give us the game we deserve.
Yeah. I think that because they also, there was E3 footage and it looked completely different, because it was like a comparison of like what the E3 footage was and then the actual gameplay, and honestly it kind of disgusted me. It's kind of frustrated because I had already played the game before I saw what it was actually supposed to look like. And it just kind of, frustrated me a little bit.
I mean, in the E3 trailer, they promised us, online co-op and going against our friends, if we so choose. But when the game was released, a lot of that got cut to where it was just, let's hack our friends and see who can be the bigger jerk.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't have a lot of friends on here because I don't normally play Watch Dogs online. Every now and then I'll do it just so that way I don't get hacked, because I'll hack random people, but mostly because it's fun, but it's not fun actually getting hacked.
Let's talk about the feature where they added in where you can turn off the invasions. Do you agree? Do you think that that's a good idea for people who don't like online and solely just want to play the campaign?
Well, yeah, I think they have that in this game too.
They do.
Oh, they do? Oh. I didn't know that. But yeah, I think I think it's fair to have that, because if someone just doesn't want to get hacked, then it's their own business. I mean, I'm not telling people how to live their lives, so how the hell did he get a license? It's your game, it's your life, you do what you want. Personally, me, I like online, and it's okay, but it's really no big deal. So
Aiden as a character, do you feel like you could relate to him in a real life situation?
I need to make this Damien's pride is his weak spot. Just play it up.
Maybe. I wouldn't be as extreme. I wouldn't be going after. Oh,
it's too dangerous.
If my niece was killed, I would want to know who did it, and honestly, I'd probably I'd have a huge decision on if I want to, make them suffer or pay or whatever. But
forget it.
Honestly, I could relate to him because, he has emotional trauma because he feels like the death of his niece was his fault, and don't know, but I think if they could have made it better if I can't really explain it, but I could have related to him. What about you?
I enjoy the choice that they give the player. Yes, Aiden had a very traumatic experience with the death of his niece and how she was murdered, but I do like how they give you the choice of being the noble hero or the self-righteous vigilante.
Mm-hmm. I've played both sides. Like, I've played the vigilante side where I just, run into people on the streets, stuff. But
being the vigilante side of this game, it doesn't give you that feeling of it leaves you feeling empty at the end, like you didn't really accomplish anything.
Exactly. That's because I feel like one thing that they could have done is they could have added more like interesting things, like if you're the vigilante and your name pops up on the news or something, the cops could immediately be called. They don't have to hear the 911 call or whatever. It could literally just go to a straight police scan or something like that.
That was the one thing I was kind of disappointed with the shopkeeps, where depending on which alignment you chose to pursue, whether or not they called the cops on you.
I'm coming.
I think that would be realistic, but come on, if you really gonna sell guns to a vigilante, that's bad for business.
Where
are they?
Oh, the vigilante get arrested, and then they'd find the name or whatever on the gun or the receipt or whatever, and then it would probably get traced back to you. But then you'd probably pull out that excuse, oh, I didn't know. But I mean, you never know. So.
Here's another example of Aiden taking it a little too far. Threatening to kill Damien, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I think he's more of a person, if you harm my family, no matter what, you're harming me, or if you harm my family, you deal with me, or something like that. I think he's trying to protect his family, and what he doesn't realize is if he gets too close to family, they get attacked. And honestly, I think what's best for him is to just be by himself.
Now, the thing I find weird about Aiden is that he wears a DedSec hat, but he does not align himself with DedSec.
I always wondered what that logo was. I just didn't know, what it was, because it was, everywhere. And then the character in the new game has the hat or a shirt on or something.
Well, Marcus is a member of DedSec.
Oh. I like how they mention it a little bit. They don't mention it that much.
So what do you think of the new location where it's based in? Watch Dogs was centered in Chicago. Watch Dogs 2 centered in San Francisco. Do you think it'll feel more alive?
Yeah, I think Chicago wasn't. I think Chicago isn't as real as it could have been. But San Francisco, I think they're going to try to make it as real as if you actually go there. Because honestly, I wouldn't doubt that if you go there, there's a possibility that you could actually see a fight break out in the streets. And honestly, I think they're trying to make it as realistic as possible. It's. There you are. I think that's what they're trying to do, is make it like a realistic game.
Can I control the L?
Did you see
I need that right now.
in the E3 gameplay of Watch Dogs 2 all the new stuff that they've added?
I've heard I thought, because I've seen the trailer. I haven't seen all of the E3 stuff. I think didn't they add
I don't have time. Meet me at the Al Motel
you can
later, okay?
Start cars and have them drive away or something like that.
You can remote control cars now.
Mm-hmm.
They've added in the drone to where you can spy on people instead of hacking into the cameras. You have a little RC drone that little RC
vehicle.
Vehicle that goes in on the ground, allows you to move into places. And they've given you more options as to how you choose to go about things. It's sort of a lot like Splinter Cell Blacklist, with you can be the silent ghost who never steps a foot inside the building, or you can be the Panther who strikes without no one realizing it, or you can be the guns blazing guy.
Hey, how you doing? Yeah, I think it's really cool because, you know, there's always choice, and honestly, I feel like Watch Dog 1 didn't really have much of a choice. It was just a set path, and you know, I don't really know how to describe it. But I just feel like Watch Dogs just didn't really have that much of a. You had like one set path, and they didn't add like much of like different sides of the story. It was just kind of like, oh, you know, there's just stuff over here, and not that much, but you know, people will react differently. I think they should have like added on more of that. Like they would refuse. They would actually start shooting you if you come into the store, or you know, something like that. But obviously they didn't.
I agree. You know, if I were a store owner and I had a merciless vigilante who murdered people without a second thought, I wouldn't want to serve him either.
I mean, you know, thinking about all the lives he's taken and stuff like that. Honestly, you know, there would be like a huge fear factor in there too. It's like, you know, what if he's watching me? What if I'm his next target? Honestly, I think it was a unique story, but you know, also I liked how like when it rained, his like clothes would get wet, and when he'd get in the water and stuff. Like when you're on a motorcycle, like you see his like trench coat flapping off the engine and stuff, and you know, I think I'm also excited in Watch Dogs 2 for the parkour more, because you told me about that, how like the parkour is updated and it's more fluent instead of just choppy and stuff.
Oh yeah, the parkour in Watch Dogs 2 is going to be more fluent. You really feel as if these are tricks that require some skill instead of vaulting over a wall or climbing a fence.
Yeah. I feel like, you know, this Watch Dogs 2 is going to be more, you know, this stuff can actually happen if given the right circumstance or something like that. I think, you know, I think it's just a good way to kind of apologize for not giving the fans what they wanted with Watch Dogs. I think Watch Dogs 2 is kind of like a, you know, this is what we really can do with this if we set our minds to it. Because honestly, I just think what they were doing with Watch Dogs is Ubisoft was trying to launch something new, and they kind of promised a lot of stuff that they couldn't really deliver. So they were just trying to get people to buy the game, and then, you know, as soon as it happened, a lot of people just were like, what the heck? What's happening? Why did you lie to us and stuff like that? And did they ever like say, you know, we couldn't do stuff like that? Like, did they actually like admit?
They admitted to having false promises. They did not specify whether or not they could actually deliver on those.
Yeah, I think, you know, with online games, it takes like a lot of time, and I think one thing that what could have happened is they just ran out of time.
Yeah, well, Ubisoft has a bad history of rushing projects, and they always leave the consumer with disappointment in any title that they've released within recent years. I know I was disappointed with the way Assassin's Creed went after the events of Assassin's Creed 3.
So you didn't like any of the other games after the third one.
I mean, I thought Assassin's Creed had such an original story. You know, going back into your ancestors' lives, viewing their lives as if you were actually there, and then
What's going on, Mr. Pierce?
just spoiler alert, killing off the main character because you couldn't find a way to take the story anywhere, and then leave the next three games as filler. That's just cheap, man. That's you wanting to make money and not make your customers happy.
Yeah. I think. What do you think about the movie that they're coming out with, the Assassin's Creed movie?
Michael Fassbender, he's a phenomenal actor. I enjoy him in the X-Men as Magneto. I think he'll do an amazing job playing as as an assassin.
Mm-hmm.
I just hope that the movie can capture the beauty of Assassin's Creed of what it once was.
Yeah. I feel like, because there's been a history of games or movies based off video games or something like that, and they end up being kind of bad. I heard Mortal Kombat, the movies were okay. They weren't great, but
Don't get me started on Doom.
Oh, was Doom based off a movie, or was
Doom was a movie based off the video game.
Oh, really?
They tried to make it like the video game by adding in the first person sequence, but it just made the movie look cartoonish and look like child's play.
Yeah. It's it's just one thing to honestly, for video games, I think to turn it into movies, I think there's like so much that they should get in, but then they just don't. Because normally, like, a good movie is around an hour and 35 minutes, something like that. And, like, games take a lot of time to complete, unless it's, like, a shorter game.
That really just depends on the player, though, because most players, like myself, are completionists. We like to find every single hidden aspect. But then you have those players who are solely there for the story, who just go through the campaign and then never pick up the game until the next one comes out.
Yeah. Honestly, what I would do, like with Watch Dogs, taking it back to Watch Dogs, like what I did when I first played this game before, I did some of the story, and then it got it started to get kind of hard, so I took a break and I just did kind of like free roam and stuff, and and then I just decided, let's give it more try. And eventually, I just completed it because it got easier or something like that. But the side missions just get kind of boring, and then I'm more of like a person who picks it up, and because honestly, like, I have a certain time frame that I'd like to spend on games. Like if a video game first comes out, like when the new Skyrim game comes out, like I'm gonna try to get everything that I can. But the first thing I'm gonna do is plan the main story and get that out of the way, and then just go off in side missions and stuff like that.
On your topic of how the side missions were bland and colorless, what did you think of the digital trips?
I liked those. My favorite one was like Alone, where you're facing like robots and stuff. I think it's one of those things where it's based off like stealth and stuff. I wasn't really fond of like the driving one, because all you basically did was just drive around and stuff.
Yeah.
And then Psychedelic was okay. You're basically just bouncing off flowers, but Psychedelic's basically just another word for drugs.
What did you think of Spider Tank?
Oh, that was fun. I like the idea of you're basically just a huge giant spider that's destroying Chicago.
Do you know that fans of Watch Dogs actually do not like the digital trips?
Seriously?
Yes, they the Ubisoft is actually not bringing them back in Watch Dogs 2 because they were so unpopular with the fans. The good ones that they did add, which were like the UFO abduction and the other ones, you had to pay for those. They didn't come with the game. And most people who do buy this game, don't feel like spending the extra $15 to $20 getting, two little small extra bits of content.
Yeah, because I think isn't there like a way to like beat some of them, or is it just like continuous?
The only ones that I know that so far that you can beat are the driving one and Alone.
Really?
Because I know when you complete Alone, after you've unlocked when you've freed all the zones from the darkness, you have nothing left to do. There's nothing left to fight.
So you're just there and just light, and then there's no one there?
Yeah, you basically win.
Oh, so... Hey guys. Oh wait, there's no one here. Okay. But, yeah. What was your... I can't remember... Oh wait, I already asked you that. Never mind. What was your least favorite mission in Watch Dogs so far?
My least favorite mission was probably the fixer contracts.
Mm-hmm.
I did not enjoy having to drive from location to location just to deliver a car or bring a person to a destination just to have them shot and killed.
Exactly.
I feel like that was a huge waste of time, and I feel like it was filler because they ran out of original content.
Mm-hmm. It's one of my least favorite missions is buying a... I think there was like one where he thought he was going to have to like go to war or something like that. And he went to a store, like literally it was one mission where you just go and buy a grenade launcher. That's literally all it is.
One of the harder missions I will say that I did have trouble with in this game was when you are trying to hunt down the drug dealer in the apartment towers.
Oh yeah?
I probably spent 3 to 4 hours on that mission because I was constantly either being shot and killed or something was always holding me back.
Yeah. I like first-person shooters because I don't like third-person games that much anymore. Because I used to be a big because I used to play Skyrim in third person all the time, and then I'd see friends playing first person, and because I think one of the first things people like about third person is they could basically see everything that's going on around them. I used to like that, and then I used to care about what my character looked like and stuff like that, and eventually it's just a character. It's not an actual person. It doesn't matter. And you just go to first person, and it's easier to see, honestly, and it's easier to aim and stuff like that.
And it gives you the point of view of your actual character.
Yeah.
You're not doing the over the shoulder. I'm like a floating camera following this guy around.
Exactly. Yeah, I just it would have been funny if during this game, if someone were to... I don't know if there's ever been a game where the character has broken the fourth wall and said, oh, you guys are making a game about me?
The only game to my knowledge that does that is Deadpool.
Really?
I believe in the very first few minutes of the game, he calls up a video game producer and submits a title to him. And he rejects it, of course, because who wants to fund a game for a psychotic mercenary who laughs at fart jokes and getting people's head blown off?
Yeah. I feel like, there aren't a lot of superhero games anymore.
See, the hard part about doing a superhero game is that you have to capture the feel of that superhero.
Yeah.
So if you can't capture, like, say you're portraying a game about being Batman, if you can't capture the darkness and mysteriousness that's behind Batman,
Are they actually monitoring private
you can't really call it a good game. Now, Rocksteady did a phenomenal job with the Batman Arkham series.
Oh yeah, I really enjoyed. My favorite one was, I want to say it's Arkham Knight, because it had in the I was very surprised when Bruce told Gordon to take his mask off.
Very scene? Let's find out.
Granted, I had seen videos of it before. First time I saw it, my jaw dropped. And I was like, why? But he was saving Robin, right?
See where that
Yeah.
is.
My favorite Arkham
Gotcha.
game would have to be
Rock
Arkham
Racing.
Asylum. I mean, it brought a lot of big names into the mix. You had Catwoman, Mr. Freeze. You had a lot of big names that you didn't see in Arkham Asylum, and you didn't see much of in Arkham Origins. And then in Arkham Knight, barely played any significance.
Yeah. I mean, Scarecrow was in the game, and he was basically like the main villain. And then you have like side villains like Firefly, and Catwoman was kind of...
She was the damsel in distress.
Yeah. There's kind of, there's always has to be that in a superhero. One superhero that's never had a good superhero game was Superman. Because he's just kind of like a positive guy, and there's really no way to capture his emotions in the game.
See, my problem with Superman, anything that has to do with him, is he's always portrayed as a goody two-shoes.
Yeah.
He doesn't have any type of color to him.
Yeah.
Like, he's just there to protect people.
Yeah.
I mean, you could make the argument, his entire planet was destroyed, and he has to live with the fact knowing that he's the last of his race.
Besides Supergirl.
Yeah. And it's like, I can't relate to that, though.
Yeah, because honestly, if they're...
We're out of time anyways.
Alright, see you guys.